All right, the first thing that I noticed is it didn't do the fancy thing that I like. So it's supposed to do the little animation where the star, you know, jumps into the screen. If you're wondering, look at the screen. Everything's different now. Have you guys noticed? Everything's different. I got my microphone back. I'm closer to you, but we're trying to prepare the program to do some different things. So in the next weeks to maybe months, we're going to be doing some different things with the live stream. And the first thing we have to do is kind of change the way that the room is set up and change the way the cameras are. So today's just an experiment. And what we're trying to do is one thing we're doing is we're going to work in a way to have Melissa join the show. So you guys can hang out with me today. You're probably wondering, where the fuck is the news? Where is the news? Yo, what's up? Kerry's in the building. Back our I don't know why the tip menu isn't up, but there is a tip menu, and you guys can tip again for breakdowns. Breakdowns are back. We've migrated them to this channel, so now you can do breakdowns here. Anybody that wants to tip for breakdowns will be able to do that, and of course, we're bringing back the James. So there's that one. You know. Hey, Brandon, how's it going, man? How's it doing? How's it going? As soon as I sat down, I realized, holy shit, I don't have my joint papers with me, and that's really not good. So I'm going to wait, and I might step away just for 1 second to go find my joint papers. I got everything set up, and then realize, holy living shit, I don't got my papers. I made all that noise, hopefully, so you guys could tell me if there was anything wrong on your end. Is there anything wrong with the audio on your end? Is my voice too loud? Is it too bassy? It's really fucked up, you might need a new phone or a new device. I don't know how you're experiencing me right now. Are you experiencing me through headphones? Or through your grandmother's, 1997 Nokia? What'll it be? How's the microphone on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best? How is the microphone? How's the microphone? Hopefully better than that other piece of shit we were using. It's tough here. I don't got a lot of options. How is the microphone? How is the microphone in contrast to the music? How's the microphone now? How's the microphone now? Appreciate y'all. So there's that. Mid-range is a little bit sharp. 400K. Okay, I could take it down a little bit. Are you being serious? There you go. How's that? How's that? Tap, 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 tap. A little better? Hey, 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 hey. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate you, man. So this is the theme music. We'll play the theme music to make sure everything works. William of the world! Cool, man. Thank you guys so much. So, and then, of course, gone now is the news screen, right? So then I have to press this button here. Let's see if it works. And ha! How about that? Did it work? Did that work? Can you see the news and still hear me? Can you hear the audio? No? Wait, somebody said no. Can you not hear the audio? I'm working on a short version of the Bravo Fest video. Okay, that's good. I see the new page. Good. Can everybody see alleged sex offender Puff Daddy? Put a 1 in the chat. You can hear me, and you can see the new screen. Scott says, "Hey, Hivelings, how goes your Metal Monday? Had almost 11 on since it's my Metal Monday. I had to put on more than before. Oh, man." And I will say, thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Scott, so much. You see the new page and all of that. Hold on, let me snap back over here real quick. And, ha! There it goes. I could get used to this. So Melissa set me up with all these new toys here. I appreciate y'all. About more than before. So, some quick sepsis wiki, some quick sepsis lore on more than before. So, it wasn't even going to make it to that album. It was kind of a clean song, an acoustic song that me and Melissa used to do at like fairs and festivals and stuff like that. More than before, it wasn't a metal song. It was I don't know, like a folk song almost. And truth be told, we didn't know if the songs that we were working on would be appropriate for our first album. You know, we were trying to find ourselves. And lo and behold, guitar player at the time said, "Why don't you guys think about a slow song or something that was, you know, a little less aggressive, you know, something a little bit more melodic, something with chord progressions." And they pulled out and mentioned and recommended more than before. And I said, "Oh man, you know, I can't see that. I can't see us turning up the guitars loud on that and making that a big deal, you know." Um, so when we recorded more than before, I did so reluctantly because I couldn't see the translation and how it fit with our performance and our playing style. And I will tell you that now, more than before is one of the best songs that we have, hands down, live. I mean, I'm not really like it's not necessarily my particular taste, and it's some of my band members' favorite. So let me just say that right out. There are band members that is their favorite song to play is more than before. I said that it wasn't only because it's really challenging to play and to get right. You know, it's melodic. You're relying less on being rhythmic. You're really relying on staying in tune and hitting notes. And when we play that live, I hope it doesn't disappoint anybody. But when we play that live, it's so much fucking bigger than what we could ever do on the album. Because when we recorded it on the album, truthfully, we didn't know what we were doing. I know, you know, and that's not to say that nobody should like it or anything like that. It's just you know when you record something, Scott, and then you listen to it 10 weeks later, you go, "Oh shit, oh that's what that note is," or you find out, "Hey, listen to that really cool thing that I did that I didn't even realize I was doing." It's just one of those things where we recorded the song before we got familiar with it, and then you know you record a song, then you go into the band room relearn it and you realize, oh wow, there's all these little pockets and hidden Easter eggs and different grooves. And over time, we realized we could play the song a lot better than we performed it on the album. So I hope when you come and see us this week in Connecticut, I'm going to have to slow things down and let you know that we're about to play the song so you can really get an idea, um, so you can prepare yourself. You know, there may be one or two versions of it online, but I guarantee you they're acoustic, and there might be one version from Rockfest when we did the Jelly Roll thing, just because, you know, who wouldn't want to capture that moment? But stay tuned. Why didn't we do? Did we do more than before yesterday at practice? Oh no, we did. We did. I'm just insane and stoned. Never mind. So yeah, there's that. Scott says every album has that one mellow song. Thank you, man. Thank you. And our producer kept saying, guys, it's good. And I would send him back new versions of our vocals. And he'd be like, guys, it's good. I like the song. We try to do bigger vocals and louder vocals. And he'd go, You don't need it. You just need to like the song because it's good. And we struggled with it. You know how it is. I don't know. Maybe it's different for other artists, but we do a lot of vulnerability here on this page, believe me. I guess what that means is we tell the truth a lot. There's a consequence for telling the truth, you know. But, I would say that for artists, I will have to admit that we don't always have the biggest self esteem, you know. That's why it takes, our families and our fans and sometimes other professionals and our producer and all of our closest swarmies and people that we know really well. Sometimes you guys are like, man, stop that. It's really good. I can't tell you how many times I've come off the stage just this year, and Brandon's like, yo, it's a good set. And I'm like, really? I don't know. And Brandon's like, yo, it's a good set, man. And I'm like, are you sure? Because he's like, dude, it's a good fucking set. Would you fuck off? No, but that's how it is, you know? You don't really know. And for all of you up there that are performing and in bands, in your defense, you can't hear shit up there. You can't hear a damn thing up here. Nate said, funny, I just saw a documentary. I can't say that word. A documentary about hair metal. Every album back then had a powerful ballad. Ed says, I made it back from California. Oh, great. Are you in New England? Just in time for Bravo Fest. What's up with my clappy thing, man? What's going on? How's it going, Ed? I seen Ed's awesome pictures. Like, Ed's not even in a band. He's got better band pictures than I do. You know what I mean? He really does. If anybody wants to see better band pictures than our band page, just go check out Ed's collection. It will amaze you. No question. Okay, so back in Oregon. Well, welcome home. Welcome home. I'm glad you had a great trip, and I'm sure you've got the best photos and the best videos. Ed, keep taking videos, man, and put them in the swarm. People like that stuff. I think you go and see more bands than all of us combined. Everybody, Ed's got pretty good taste in rock and roll and heavy metal. So if you're wondering, how to find the good tastemakers, Ed's your guy. I wonder if I can go find my papers. So, you guys, you're probably wondering, oh yeah, you guys can't see the screen anymore because I changed it. I got to get used to this. All right, so let's switch over to my trusty. Now, I could not continue doing this program and covering any news without you guys being able to see what I'm reading from. I mean, that was the big problem with having more people or having any guests come on my talk show, is that there was no room for anybody. So if I back up now, look, now there's room for people. There wasn't room for people before, and I was like, how am I going to fit the chat, people, and the computer screen? Because I need to be able to pop back sometimes and show everybody I'm not making this stuff up. Some of the stuff that I read online, I think if you didn't know me or you were a first-time viewer, you might have the impression that I'm making this shit up or that I'm responding to something in my imagination. I like to have the articles up on the screen because it gives you guys an opportunity to follow along with me. And that way, if we call bullshit, we can call bullshit together. If we need to cross-reference something, we could do it together. It's not so much for this silly stuff like when I'm covering celebrities and the stuff that makes you guys laugh and all that. I don't care about that. But more so like when I'm covering music industry tools, it's stuff that other artists and musicians don't want to accept as the truth. Because sometimes it can be painful to learn about what's really happening behind the scenes in the music industry. And that's why I put it up on the screen so everyone can see that I'm not making it up. So when I do have an opinion or people can measure my personality, they can understand that I've developed my opinions after the fact, or after what's observable, I should say. I've developed my opinion after we, the chat, have observed the information that's been presented to us. And then the other half, the part where this is fucking entertainment, guys. So let's buckle up for another episode of William versus the World. Holy shit. We went from Linkin Park, Scientology, and sex offenders right into Dave Grohl and his sexual love child. And now here we are again. Yet another story in the honeypot of hell. P. Diddler himself is in hot water still for his alleged crazy, freaky baby oil parties, everybody. And I know what you're thinking. Wow, what the fuck? It has dominated news and trends. And that's not really what I'm covering. I have no new updates. I have no new vibrators. I have no more baby oil. Puff Daddy is taking it all from everybody. Dave Grohl has turned off his social media. And Linkin Park's selling out fucking stadiums, okay? So don't kill the messenger. There's only one reason why I have P. Diddler back on the TV screen. And it's all bad news. Not for him, for you. And it has nothing to do with the limited amount of baby oil on the shelves here in the States. It has to do, frankly, with the Diddy parties and the RSVP lists of the Diddy parties that everyone is waiting for. Just like the Epstein list. These powerful guys that have these big sex parties, all the biggest stories about sex. When these guys have big freaky parties, all you guys get excited. Let's face it. Whether you're into it or you're not, no matter what your opinions are feeling, this stuff surges in the internet. Christ, we've got politicians that got sex charges and it doesn't get covered this much. Let's start there. We've got convicted sex offenders in power and nobody wants to talk about it. But everybody wants to talk about the P. Diddy thing, and it's everywhere, and as well as they should. I think the more light that we shine on abusers and sex offenders, the better. I think the more conversations we have about it on the internet, I think people go, you know what the fuck, man? We need to tighten some stuff up around here. This is fucking crazy. Plus, everyone's skin is getting dry because of the lack of baby oil. Let's keep it real, you guys. We're all having fun. When these things happen, everyone dives on the internet, and it's like a smorgasbord. Everyone looks for somebody to punch. It's fun. It's crazy. The whole thing is wild, no question. Just as wild as the Epstein stuff. But what do people really want? Like, they got Diddy now. So what is it people really want? People can smell the blood, right? So Diddy's old news. Linkin Park is old news. Fuck, everyone forgot about good old Dave Grohl. All he did was get a piece of pussy. People forgot about him already. People want Scientology and sex offenders and sex parties. So, here you have it. This is not the first high-profile celebrity sexual deviant. But I gotta say, just like when R. Kelly got popped, okay? Just like, when Epstein got popped, once they got popped, what people really wanted was the lists, the black book, because these guys can't just do this stuff on their own. You can't have a huge baby oil celebrity sex party without baby oil and without sex and without a lot of people in power. Huh? You can't be Jeffrey Epstein flying around underage girls on your private jet unless you have some help. Right? So the fun part is to watch everybody on the fucking internet. If it's somebody that people don't like, they want to clear it, they want to throw him in the fire. And if it's somebody that you like, you want to clear his name. But there's so many people that have taken pictures with Diddy. The way people act on the internet is like anybody that's ever taken a public picture with Diddy is a sex offender. You guys got to get it together. You guys got to get it together. Now, I realize it's fun and he's a psychopath, and that's all very true. But not everybody that took a picture with Donald Trump is a sex offender. He's a sex offender. I'm just saying, not everybody that takes pictures with sex offenders are sex offenders. He's an alleged sex offender. I'm not the judge, I'm not the jury, and I'm not the person that accused him. But guys, don't be so naive. Just because you see somebody in a public picture with Puff Daddy doesn't necessarily mean that they too are rapists. Get it together just a little bit. Just because you like Linkin Park doesn't mean you're into Scientology. You get what I'm saying? Just because you're cheering for Linkin Park does not mean that you support rapists. And just because some fan or another celebrity took a picture with this criminal or with some alleged rapist doesn't necessarily mean that the person in the picture is also a criminal. I just think it's important to go over that, because while we have this bloodlust and we're all excited to point out celebrities and we're all holding everybody accountable, that's fine. But as I said before, don't pick and choose your rapists. All right? Bippidoo. So I did have here. Apparently, let's see what the chat talking about. Or that an ex-president who was convicted of fraud charges who can get away with it. You guys, that's a good point. You know what I mean? And this isn't a political channel or a religious channel. I don't believe in heroes. I can't vouch for any politicians or musicians or celebrities or anybody I know. I don't vouch for these people. I'm not a political person. I'm from prison. I did 17 years in jail. I don't do political parties. I don't do magical figures or mythology. I don't do mysterious stuff. I can't speak for all the band members. They might have their different views on this kind of stuff. But Sepsis as a whole, as a brand, as a band, we are not religious. We are not political. We don't do the Easter Bunny. We don't do the Tooth Fairy. None of it. We don't spin the dreidel. None of it. You won't see none of that here. There's no red. There's no blue. There's no good guys and no bad guys. We like everybody here. So, but one thing we don't do is sex offenders. So we like everybody, but one thing that we do draw the line here on our page is sex offenders. So anybody that supports any kind of sex offenders, the door is right there, of course. Other than that, moving right along. This is kind of funny. So in a resurfaced video of Diddy introducing his adopted daughter, has folks concerned for the girl's well-being in the wake of Diddy's arrest and indictment. But we've learned that he was never her father. So I don't know. There's some video with this child, and I think it shows Diddy saying that he's going to adopt her or something. I'm not sure that you can go and check for yourself what the exact in verbatim commentary was used, what English was used. But I guess the idea is that, Diddy was going to adopt this child as a joke or some sort of entertaining commentary, and I think it's really funny because they said here, this is what I think is funny. It says Diddy fans are worried for adopted daughter, but he was never her father. I mean, this just goes to show you. In projection, we know that Diddy's a fucking psychopath. But fans, let's look at two things here. The fans of the internet are equally fucking psychotic to really believe for 1 second that Diddy has fans. What type of people on the internet were confused and thought that Diddy ever had fans to begin with? That's the strangest fucking thing. Sepsis says here, Diddy has never had any fans. There is no one you can ever think of that has ever been heard saying that they like Diddy's music or can vouch for Puff Daddy. No one. Literally no one. People in the comments, seriously think to yourself, a long time, as long back as you can remember, you cannot recall anyone in your entire life vouching for him or his music or his personality. Any way you want to ask it, any way you want to play it out. Not in the history of sound or music. There is no such thing as P. Diddy fans. So nobody has to be worried about that anytime soon. And moving right along, I don't pluck these out of nowhere, everybody. It just so happens that this is what's in the news. I'll let that marinate. All right, I get it. There's a certain amount of storyboarding that we do here. Like, I'll grab like a couple of educational stories, a couple funny stories, a couple stories about celebrities, a couple stories about the music industry, and then I'll put them on. And but primarily, I try to go after the stories that are most interesting to the world. Why this is still interesting, I don't know. Yo, Scott says, have fun adopting children from your cell. Ooh. Man, I would not want to be him. Michael Jackson's estate takes legal action over 213 million shakedown from former sexual accuser. Everything is sex, everybody. Sex, sex, sex. That's what people care about. The Michael Jackson estate has taken legal action against former assault accuser for allegedly threatening them for a bigger payday, amounting in 213 million. Michael Jackson's estate has filed legal action against a former sexual assault accuser for allegedly threatening to resurface abuse allegations in breach of the agreement if he's not paid more money. So apparently they must have gave him some money already. I always say that innocent men don't pay their accusers. But that's just my personal opinion. That is not necessarily accurate. That is my personal opinion. See how I did that? So let's read on. As reported by the Financial Times over the weekend, Jackson's estate filed a private arbitration case against the accuser, who remains anonymous to the media, back in 2020 over abuse allegations. The estate allegedly paid the accuser $3.3 million in a settlement exchange for his signing a non-disclosure agreement. But now the estate claims he's threatening to speak up in a breach of contract if they do not pay him an additional, boy, he jumped up here, $213 million. Quote, the associate's lawyer even said to us, if you don't meet our demands, we are going to have to share these allegations with a wider group of people, said the estate executor John Branca in an interview with the Washington Informer. Quote, it was a shakedown. Enough is enough, the estate said. It is not yet clear whether the arbitration case was filed or what the exact allegations entail. Further details, like the name of Jackson's accuser, have remained undisclosed. The estate also would not confirm the accuracy of the reports and declined to respond to media requests for comment. The Financial Times reports that the estate also referred to the matter to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Los Angeles. Like the estate, the spokesman for the attorney office declined to comment when asked to confirm the report of whether it had opened a formal investigation. So, and the only reason why I brought that up also is because anytime that you see these big celebrity sex scandals, you see everybody trying to get paid. And that is the first thing that people will use to defend Marilyn Manson. That is the first thing that people will use to defend people like the former president who's been adjudicated for rape. These are the type of languages and tools that will be used, even though people that we love, and this is the issue, Mike Tyson, Tupac, a lot of these people have sex convictions. A lot of these people have rape convictions. And it's disappointing and it's shocking because many people look up to Trump and they look up to Tupac and they look up to Elvis Presley and they look up to Jerry Lee Lewis and they look up to Mike Tyson. Right? So when this shit goes down, everyone's looking to clear everyone's name. Everyone is looking to throw dirt on everyone's name and assassinate their character. And everyone's looking to get paid. Everyone's looking to try to stay out of prison. So, confusion, lies, deception, paying people off is all part of the process when this stuff comes to the surface. And it takes lies and confusion to continue to abuse people. And the issue is, when people get abused, usually that abuse, like we're seeing in the Michael Jackson case here, usually the abuse, whether true or false, when there is victims at this level, people are re-victimized over and over again. Because naturally, people come out, they make accusations, right? And they have alleged events, and nobody believes them. So people that are actually abused get annoyed, get ignored. People that are actually victims of abuse get ignored because it gets written off as a high-profile scandal and a big money grab. And people go, oh, man, these rich guys, these girls, and these, I don't know, kids? I don't know. Apparently, women and minors are after rich, powerful men. It seems difficult to imagine. But even when they're challenged and there are minors that make accusations, like in Marilyn Manson's case, a minor came forward with an accusation, and it was just fuck her because he's a celebrity. Now I get it, innocent until proven guilty and all that other stuff, but you don't see people acting like innocent till proven guilty in terms of P. Diddy, do you? And like I said, I don't personally care. I don't give a shit. Let's have a field day with it. But as you can see, half a decade later, we're still talking about Michael Jackson's victims. So when these things come to surface, you have blackmail. You have much more opportunities for people to continue abusing each other. It's fucking crazy. So that's why it's good to talk about it. Because everybody goes, oh my goodness, we shouldn't talk about this stuff. It's ugly. It's scary. It makes me feel uncomfortable. So people go, I don't want to talk about Michael Jackson anymore. It's ugly. I like him. I don't want to think of him that way. But I don't want to talk about the ex-president. I don't want to talk about Mike Tyson. I watch his podcast. I don't want to think of him as a convicted sex offender. I don't want to think of Tupac as a convicted sex offender. It's a conspiracy, I don't want to think of P. Diddy as a sex offender. It's a Well, see, nobody has a problem thinking about P. Diddy as a sex offender. Everybody loves the idea of P. Diddy being a sex offender. But do you like the idea of finding your favorite celebrities on his sex party list? Only time will tell. Guys, so many music festivals have been canceled. What's going on? What's going on in the world? as you can see here from the article. How's that? Is that still working, guys? I love that. I love this new system. I can see me getting confused, though. I ain't gonna lie. Let's stick with it. So many music festivals have been canceled this year. What in the living fuck is going on? It may not be too much of an exaggeration to say that 2024 was the year the music festival has died. A wave of festivals has been unplugging their microphones and telling pass holders, sorry. Desert Days, a psychedelic rock fest in Southern California, Sierra Nevada, World Music Festival, a reggae fest in North California, Kickoff Jam, a country music festival in Florida, Blue Ridge Rock Festival in Virginia, Sudden Little Thrills, a multi-genre festival in Pittsburgh, Float Fest in Austin, Texas, and a list of cancellations goes on. And it's not just America, everyone, it's Europe. Festival after festival, from Lollapalooza to the Sideways Festival in Helsinki, has announced cancellations for this year or, frankly, forever. By one count, over 60 music festivals were canceled in the UK this year alone. In Australia, so many festivals were canceled that one magazine recently asked, are the nation's music festivals extinct? What do you guys think? Not for Ed. I'll tell you that fucking much. Ed ain't having a problem with it. Yep. Meanwhile, even some of the big name festivals that used to sell out in minutes struggled to sell tickets this year. Maybe our entire team should listen to this episode. Burning Man failed to sell out for the first time in over a decade. Coachella, the most attended annual music festival in North America, saw a decline of around 15% in ticket sales this year alone. Call it the festival recession? What's driving it? There are the predictable culprits. All right, surviving production costs, high ticket prices, and consumer demand dropping harder than an EDM breakdown. But the festival slump may also be driven up by factors that are more thought-provoking. Technological changes in music, listenership, and the generation of kids who may lack the same enthusiasm for live entertainment as generations passed. In the decade before COVID, the pandemic, music festivals saw something of a renaissance. Quote, new music festivals are popping up more quickly than you can count in the U.S., wrote the Associated Press back in 2013. Events like Coachella were doing so well that they were adding more days to their lineups. The Fest of Fests during 2010s was so incredible that some questioned whether there was a festival bubble. The pandemic obviously hit hard and hit festivals hard too, ending the boom. But when the crisis subsided, consumers were flush with cash, and pent-up demand for social activities seemed to help many festivals make a roaring comeback. While there were rumblings of trouble last year, it was really this year when the music stopped for many festivals. Putting on a festival involves investing an incredible amount of upfront money with the hopes that ticket sales and other revenue sources will allow investors to recoup. This is true, guys, even in local businesses and local festivals like Bravo Fest or Swarmy Fest. It's a big, or Mystic Metal Fest. It's a big reason that music festivals are notoriously risky business with low-profile margins. In fact, many independent festivals are run by nonprofits that don't make a profit at all. It's easy to see why rising costs could cause more mayhem than a mosh pit. Let's see what they did there. During the boom years, many festivals jacked up their ticket prices. Since 2014, general admission prices for major music festivals have increased 55%, according to an analysis conducted by Finance Buzz. That far outpaced the overall rate of inflation during the same time period. Page says, more recently, however, many festival promoters, perhaps recognizing softening demand, have been more reluctant to raise prices, although to cover exploding costs. She's quoted here in saying, I would imagine that promoters are a little bit at risk, averse to not push prices too far, because we're coming out of a slump, Page says. They're like, let's get them back into the fields, jumping up and down, Mr. Brightside and the Killers. But that's hesitancy on price is then offset by the explosion in production costs. And that's where we've been caught in the crossfire. Many festivals are clearly having trouble making the numbers work and are being forced to cancel. What do y'all say? What do y'all say to it? I can't believe it's 8 o'clock already, son of a bitch. That's what it is, y'all. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you, brother. So this is the new setup. I hope you guys like it. I mean, there's more to it that's coming. We got to return the lights. There won't be this background. It'll be something different going on. And I'll get some new lights in here. We'll get Melissa a microphone, and then we'll have some games. You know what I think would be fun too is like a daily trivia. I think that would be fun. Any ideas that you guys have for my live streams, games, trivia, polls, anything like that you think is fun? And Scott says his personal opinion, or if it's not the truth, then fuck Uncle Fester and the child molester. Oh, God. That's fantastic. Guys, let's celebrate humanity, not division. Let's celebrate neighborhoods, not policies. Let's remember where we come from. Let's remember who we are, that we are all unique, we are all diverse, and we are all smaller parts that make up the whole. I'll see you guys tomorrow on another episode of William versus the World.